Hello guys, welcome to yet another video. So today we'll be looking at what is called substitution in algebra. Okay, so in algebra, letters are used to represent numbers, and these letters are called variables. So we can have an expression such as 5x squared minus 6x plus 7, right? So this expression has got three terms. The first term that we have is 5x squared. That's the first term, okay? And then the second term that we have is negative 6x. All right, negative 6x. That is the second term. And then the third term that we have is plus 7. Right. So you can evaluate this expression right here, this expression, by replacing the variables in the expression with specific values, and this is what is called substitution, right? For example, we can have A is equal to 3, B is equal to minus 2, and C is equal to 5, right? And then the question will say, find the value of, we're given part A as 3A plus B, and then we're given part B as AC plus B squared, and then we're given part C as A plus C over B, and lastly we have A, then we have bracket C minus B. Okay, so when we have such an expression, right, 3a plus b, when we're substituting, wherever we have these letters here, we replace them with a variable that we are given. So for example, if we're doing part A, 3a, that would be 3a is 3 plus our b is negative 2. So that becomes 9, and 3 times 3, that is 9, plus and the minus gives us a minus, we have 2. So 9 minus 2 gives us 7. And then for B, we have AC plus B squared. Our A is 3, our C is 5, and we're adding B squared. Our B is negative 2, and we are squaring that. So 3 times 5, that gives us 15, plus, remember, a minus and a minus, because for squared, we're saying minus 2 times minus 2, that gives us a positive 4. So that becomes 15 plus 4, and we get 19, which will be our final answer. And then for part C, we have A plus C over B. A is 3, our C is 5. We have all this over negative 2. So 3 plus 5, that is 8, divided by negative 2, and our answer becomes negative 4. And then for D, we have A, right? Our A is 3, we have a bracket, C is 5, and we have minus, B is minus 2, right? So negative and negative gives us a positive. So that becomes 3, 5 plus 2, okay? And that becomes 3, 7, and 3 times 7 gives us 21. So that becomes our answer for part D. All right, so let me just give you a tip, right? Let's have a tip. So when we're substituting, right, always remember this, okay? Always remember what we call bid mass. All right, so B stands for brackets, I stands for indices, and we're talking about indices, right? We're talking about powers. When we say 3 to the power 2, something like that, we're talking about powers, we're talking about roots or orders. Okay, and then we're talking about D, we're talking about division, and we're talking about M, that's multiplication. And then we're talking about A, that's addition, and S is subtraction. So this is the order in which you solve your algebra, right? it's the order. Let's say we've got brackets, right? And a certain number, let's say x plus c, and you have an a outside. So we're saying that BIDMAS is the order in which you solve these expressions, right? So you start off with whatever is in the brackets, and then you followed by the indices, and then division, multiplication, addition, and lastly subtraction. So tip number 2, right? So we have, for example, 2x squared, right? So 2x squared means 2 and x squared. Okay, so this is 2 times x squared. That's what 2x squared means. And then if we have 2x squared, right, this means work out 2x first, and then you square it. Okay, then you square it, right? So, for example, we can also have minus 7x, right? This means negative 7 multiplied by x. And then if we have minus x squared, right, this means minus, and we have x squared, like this. Okay, so let us do a few more examples. All right, we have h is equal to 3, m is equal to negative 2, and t is equal to negative 3. All right, and we're given an expression. Let's put this as number 1. We're given an expression of 4t plus 10. All right, so for our t is negative 3 plus 10. So we start with multiplication first, okay? Remember our BIDMAS, m comes before addition and subtraction. So we start with multiplication, and we have 4 times negative 3, that gives us negative 12, and we are adding 2. So our answer is negative 2. And we also have 4m plus 2h. All right, so our m is negative 2, and we're adding 2h. Our h is 3. So 4 times minus 2, that's minus 8, plus 2 times 3, that gives us 6. Minus 8 plus 6, that gives us minus 2. Okay, so that is how we do substitution. So let's have another example. This is number 2. We have a is equal to 4, b is equal to negative 2, and c is equal to negative 3, right? So for a, we have b squared plus 2b plus a. So b squared becomes negative 2 squared plus 2, our b is negative 2, plus our a is 4. So say negative 2 times negative 2, that gives us 4. And then we have positive, right, and a negative. A positive and a negative will give us a negative. So 2 times 2 becomes 4, and we are adding our last 4. So 4 minus 4, that's 0, plus 4 gives us 4 as the final answer. And then let's do part B. Part B, we have square root of c squared minus b squared. Okay, so our square root, for now, we're not doing anything to it. C squared, that's negative 3 squared, minus b squared is negative 2 squared. Okay, so now what we have is square root of negative 3 squared, that is 9, minus square root of negative 2, that gives us 4. So 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. So our answer would be root 5. Okay, last example. So we are given W is equal to -2, X is equal to 3, Y is equal to 0, and Z is equal to -½ So number 3 is Y, open bracket, X plus Z over W. Okay, so substituting, our Y is 0, okay, and our X is 3, so saying 3 plus our Z is -1 over 2 all over W, which is -2. So we don't even need to work out whatever is in the bracket, because 0 multiplied by any other number just gives us 0. Okay, so that is it when we're talking about substitution. So don't forget BID mass, right? See you in the next video.